Hey, imagine this. You're standing right in the middle of what used to be the proud heart of Nazi Germany. The air stinks of smoke, gunpowder, and charred stone. Buildings that once screamed power are now just smoking skeletons. And there, still somehow standing like it refuses to die, is the Reichstag, that big, battered symbol of everything the Third Reich stood for. In those last crazy days of World War II, one flag going up on top of that wreck literally marked the end of an era. It wasn't just a piece of cloth, it was the final nail in the coffin of Hitler's madness. This isn't some dry history lesson. It's a wild, brutal story of people fighting tooth and nail in the ruins, of desperation, defiance, and a whole lot of human messiness. Let's walk through how the Reichstag went from fancy parliament building to the last stand of a dying empire. So quick backstory, they built the Reichstag back in the late 1800s, 1884 to 1894, this gorgeous neo-Renaissance thing with a huge glass dome that was supposed to represent openness and democracy. Irony alert, right? Fast forward to 1933. The building catches fire, still debated who really did it. The Nazis blame the communists, use it as an excuse to grab total power, and basically never use the place again. Hitler turns it into a photo op prop while he runs the show from elsewhere. The building sits mostly empty, a hollow shell of what it once was. By early 1945, everything's falling apart for Germany. The Allies are closing in, Americans and Brits from the West, Soviets hammering from the East. Hitler's down in his bunker under Berlin, ranting about secret weapons and how they're still gonna win. Meanwhile, Berlin's a nightmare. 2 million civilians hiding in basements, food running out, and the Red Army, over 1.5 million battle-hardened troops, surrounds the city like a noose. The Battle of Berlin kicks off April 16th. It's insane. Zhukov's artillery opens up with something like 2.5 million shells in the first day alone. The sky lights up, the ground shakes. It's like the end of the world. German defenders, a total mix. Some hardcore Waffen-SS, exhausted regular soldiers, and then the Volkssturm. Teenagers barely old enough to shave, and grandpas with ancient rifles. Kids with Panzerfausts, women on anti-aircraft guns. Total war, no rules. The Reichstag becomes this weird ultimate prize for the Soviets. It's not even the real government building anymore. That's the chancellery next door. But to them, it's the symbol. The swastika used to fly there. Now they want their red flag up top. Inside, maybe 5,000 fanatics hold out. French SS guys from the Charlemagne division, Latvians, even some Scandinavians, a messed up international brigade of diehards. The fighting, house to house, room to room hell. Katyusha rockets screaming overhead, snipers everywhere, booby traps, grenades. The streets are full of bodies. The Spree River's disgusting. People who were there said the smell, cordite, rot, sewage, never left them. By late April, the Soviets are right there. Molka Bridge, just a few hundred meters away. The Reichstag's turned into a fortress, windows bricked up, furniture barricades, machine guns everywhere. April 30th is the big day. Hitler kills himself in the bunker that afternoon. At the same time, Soviet troops storm the building at dawn. Artillery rips the facade apart, then infantry charges across the square through gunfire and flames. It's chaos, zero visibility, dust, smoke, hand-to-hand stuff, bayonets, fists, whatever. There were a few flags raised early. One group got a banner up around 2:30 p.m., others later that night, but the one everyone remembers, that iconic photo by Yevgeny Khalday. Turns out it was staged a couple days later, on May 2nd, after the building was finally secure. Khalday brought a big Soviet flag, sewn from tablecloths actually, got a few soldiers up on the roof, and snapped the shot. Added some smoke and editing for drama, even removed extra watches from one guy's wrist so he didn't look like a looter. Classic propaganda move, but man, it worked. That image became the symbol of victory. Fighting dragged on in pockets till May 2nd, then Berlin surrendered. Casualties were awful. Soviets probably lost around 80,000 to 100,000 dead in the whole operation. Germans maybe 90,000 to 100,000 killed, plus hundreds of thousands wounded or captured. Civilians, tens of thousands dead from shells, starvation, or worse. Afterwards, Soviet soldiers grabbed chalk and knives and covered the walls with graffiti, names, hometowns, dates, some angry taunts at Hitler, some just "we made it." A lot of it's still there today, preserved when they rebuilt the place. You can walk past it now. Raw, emotional reminders from guys who survived the worst. The dome got wrecked. The building sat half ruined through the Cold War, right on the divide. Then reunification hits in 1990, and they rebuild it with that famous glass dome by Norman Foster. Transparent, open, a total flip from the old days. Now politicians work under tourists looking down, watching them. Pretty powerful statement. So yeah, empires crumble, flags change, but people keep scratching their stories into the walls. Next time you see that famous photo or visit Berlin, think about the real cost, the fear, the courage, the sheer exhaustion. It's not just history, it's a warning about what happens when power goes off the rails. Thanks for sticking with me through this one. If it got you thinking, there's so much more out there. Diaries, survivor accounts, the works. Hit me up if you want to dive deeper. Stay curious, friends.